Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm going to be going through 3 of the NFL's biggest one-year wonders. We're going to start off with Peyton Hillis. In the 7th round, he was picked by the Broncos. First season, he would start 6 games as a rookie, and he led the team with 343 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. The Broncos were poverty. Now, his sophomore season, he would only start 2 games and only get 54 yards for 1 touchdown, and he was the RB4 on the season. And then after that season was over, on March 15th, 2010, the Broncos traded Peyton Hillis a 6th and a 5th for Browns quarterback Brady Quinn. And then the next year, in that 2010 season, Peyton Hillis would have his year.
Hillis again, up the middle. Charles Godfrey for his 3rd touchdown of
He
the
played
half.
16 games, 1,177 rushing yards on the season with 11 rushing touchdowns, 4.4 yards per carry. He would also have 61 receptions for almost 500 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, which I did not know. That kind of shocked me, to be honest. He had 331 total touches and 1,654 total scrimmage yards in that season. After that season, he would play another year in Cleveland, a very mediocre year and definitely a step back from the previous year. And then this is when his career took a downward spiral. Thanks, Madden. He was voted to be the cover athlete for Madden 12, was on the cover. Then in 2012, signed with the Chiefs. 2013, signed with the Giants. And after that, nothing else happened in his career. His career played 81 games for a total of 2,832 rushing yards, 23 touchdowns, 134 receptions, 1,050 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, and 3,882 yards from scrimmage. For all these 3 guys, we're going to take the total yards they had in their best season and get the percentage of their career to know what percent of their career was from that one season. So when you do it with Peyton Hillis, 43% of his career scrimmage yards were all from that 1 year. Almost half is kind of crazy from one season. RG3 played at Baylor for 4 years. His junior season, 4,200 yards, 37 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. We'll call it 700 rushing yards. He was 1 short. 10 rushing touchdowns, 47 total touchdowns. He was a 1-time All-American. In 2012, he won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. The big one, won the Heisman in 2011, and then was put on the cover of NCAA Football 13. So in 2011, he was picked 2nd overall by the Washington Redskins at the time. And this is when he would have his season.
Has thrown for 182 yards, 63 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns total. Remember, he suffered a concussion last week, came back Wednesday, was cleared to play. 24 unanswered points. Tough game here, and here is RG3. He's going to run for the first down, and still on his feet. RG3 is going to outrace everybody.
His rookie year, he would absolutely take over the league. Took the team from 5-11 the previous year to 10-6 and made the playoffs. Played 15 games, 3,200 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks, 102.4 QBR on the season, 815 rushing yards with 7 rushing touchdowns for 4,015 total yards of offense, 27 total touchdowns. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, made the Pro Bowl, went 9-6. And then in the wild card round, he would tear his ACL, and nothing would be the same for RG3 again, because after that season, Cleveland wanted to limit his rushing to keep him healthy, make him more of a pocket passer, and it just did not end up working out. He had a rough year, going 3-10 as a starter. And then in March 2016, Washington released him. Then the Cleveland Browns ended up picking him up. Played 1 year for the Browns. Again, injuries. Then he was released at the end of the season, where he would sit in free agency for a full year. And then in April of 2018, the Ravens would sign him, where he'd only end up starting 2 more games in the next 3 years and close out his career a Raven. In his career, he started 42 games, 9,271 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. His interceptions really racked up on him playing on some bad offenses. QBR was at 86.5, 1,800 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 11,000 total yards, 53 total touchdowns, and then ended his career with a 16-26 record. Doing the math out for his total yards, 36% of the total yards were from his rookie year. RG3, if he did not get hurt, he was going to be something special. Tim Tebow. This was definitely interesting research for me. Played at Florida, was a Gator, obviously. His best season was his sophomore year. 3,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks, 895 rushing yards, 23 rushing touchdowns for a total of 55 touchdowns. He had 23 rushing touchdowns as a QB. One-time All-American, won the 2007 Heisman, 2008 won Offensive Player of the Year, and then also in 2008 he was 3rd in Heisman voting, 2009 was 5th in Heisman voting, and then he was put on the cover of NCAA Football 11. So you knew his career was doomed after that. He was picked in the first round, 25th, by the Denver Broncos in 2010. His rookie year, he'd get into 9 games, only start 3, would go 1-2, and he was the backup to Kyle Orton. 2011, he got into 14 games, started 11, but in those games that he did end up playing,
and he decides to go in the quarterback draw. Tebow running with him. Tim Tebow, touchdown!
but he went 7-4, including a stretch of 6 straight W's, and the Broncos would go on to win the division at 8-8. Then they would go on to beat the Steelers 29-23 in the wild card round, and then get absolutely stomped by the Patriots 10-45. He had 1,729 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 123.5 yards per game, 660 rushing yards, 6 total rushing touchdowns for 2,389 total yards and 18 total touchdowns. After the crazy season was over, the Broncos traded Tim Tebow with a 7th to the Jets for a 4th and a 6th round pick in that year's draft. Tim Tebow became the 3rd string quarterback behind Mark Sanchez and Greg McElroy. Who is that? But after playing a couple games for the Jets, he was cut and never played another game. Even he signed with the Patriots, signed with the Eagles, and then even tried sneaking on to the Jags as a tight end with Urban Meyer. Shout out Urban Meyer. And Tim Tebow's very short 3-year career, he started 16 games, 2,422 yards, 17 touchdowns through 9 picks, 69.2 yards per game, 989 rushing yards, 12 total rushing touchdowns for a total of 3,411 yards and 29 touchdowns on his career. But when you do the math, 70% of the total yards in Tim Tebow's career came from that second season, that miracle run. But yeah, Tim Tebow might have been a 1-year wonder, but dude figured it out in baseball and hit some nukes in the minors for the Mets. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below if you like these kind of videos, because I like doing it. I like doing some research. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.